Hello there and welcome. In the previous episode, we created a connection between our server and the Unity project, and now we can save user data on the server. We basically generate a JSON file, we store the data, and then we can get this information back into our game. And we can do this for separate users, so each user will have its own JSON file. We're going to continue and add more logic later in the series, but for now I want to take a break, and in this episode I want to show you something nice you can do with your server. So if we connect to our machine, we can see this bird, this logo over here, this Amazon Linux logo that appears over here as a default. And this is actually called message of the day. So it's a way to display information to the user when he logs in into the machine. The cool thing is that we can actually customize this entire text over here. So we can make our server much more personal, we can customize it, and this is what I want to show you in this episode. So yes, it's not going to be something functional for the actual operation of the server, but it's nice that we can customize it, and it's just something optional that you can do in order to make your server a bit more personal. So now we're going to understand what are the scripts that are showing this message. If we do pwd, we can see that we are in our user folder and we want to go back to the root. So we're going to do cd ... and it will basically bring us 2 steps backwards. So it will go to the home directory and then to the root directory. Now we can see that we are inside the root and we want to go to this etc folder. So this is just a folder that contains system files and system directories. So we're going to cd etc, and inside we have a bunch of files and directories, and we are interested in these ones: motd, motd.d, and update motd.d. Because motd stands for message of the day, and these are directories and files that are actually affecting the message of the day. Inside the update motd, we have some scripts that are dynamic that will basically check some kind of condition and show you this message depending on new versions or new updates, but we are not interested in this because we don't want to touch this. We still want to get these updates. What we are interested in is this motd file, and if we cat motd, we can see that it's basically empty, so we can add text inside. And if we add this text inside, it's going to be displayed when we log in into our machine. So let's see how it's done. Let's do sudo to have root permissions, nano motd, and now we're going to add something like welcome to your server, Mike. We're going to do Control X, Y, and enter. And now if we close our console, or basically log out, and we connect again, we're going to see this text above this image. So I misspelled welcome, but you can see that you can basically add more custom text over here. So you can add notes, you can add just fun images, you can do whatever you want. And this is nice. But we also want to remove this thing over here because it actually annoys us and we want to have this personal feeling. So we can do this by going to another file. So if we, again, cd/etc, so we go to the etc folder, but this time straight from the root, ls, we want to edit not this file and not the motd.d. This one contains more files that are related, but we are not interested in this. We are interested in the pam.d folder or directory, so cd pam.d, and inside we have a bunch of scripts and files, and we are interested in this sshd, so we're going to sudo nano sshd, and inside we can see a bunch of lines of code, and we are interested in this one over here because we can see motd message of the day. What we want to do is change this one to use a different script. We want to use our default script, the one that we edited before, instead of this one. So to do this, we simply go down to the beginning of this line and we move over here. And now we're going to add motd equals /etc/motd. So we're basically pointing at this file that we edited before, right? This motd file. And it will basically replace this bird image to use our own text. So now we're going to press on Ctrl X, Y to save, enter. And if we disconnect and connect again, we can see that this bird is gone and only our text is left over here. But this is where the fun begins. Now we can add cooler things over here in order to make this look much better. So let's go back into our file, this motd file, do sudo nano etc motd. So instead of going to this folder and then go to this file, we can basically open the file by providing the path. So we're going to edit the file. And now instead of this thing over here, because this is boring, we're going to do something cool. In the description, I'm going to add a link to a website, to this website. And this is an ASCII image generator. It basically takes the text that you put over here and it creates art from it. So we're going to say something like Mike's code server. And now you can see this art over here. And all of this is basically made out of characters. So you can see all of these are single characters. Now you can also change different fonts. There are a lot of different fonts, so you can find some kind of style that you like. But I like this one, the ASCII shadow. You can also change the width and the height, and this is just one website. There are a lot of different websites that you can find that do these things. So we're going to simply copy this entire text and we're going to paste it into this file. And you can see these question marks. Maybe it did not recognize these characters, so we can remove them. Let's just go back a bit and delete this one, okay? And now we're going to Ctrl X to exit, Y to save, enter. And now if we disconnect, we can see this new art over here, and now our server looks much better. So of course you can be creative, you can add maybe different images or animals or things like that. So it's not only text, but any kind of image. Maybe later I'm going to be creative and add something else. Now another thing that we can do is change the color of this text. Now if you're wondering about customization, we cannot actually change the background color because this depends on the actual terminal. We're using the AWS terminal, but in Windows or in any other machine that you're going to be using for SSH, you're going to have its own terminal, okay? So all the customization should happen in the terminal. And I'm not going to show you how to customize the Windows terminal because maybe you're using a different one, maybe you're not even using Windows. So you can just Google the name of your terminal. If it's the Windows command line, you can check how to customize it. But you can add more colors and more things, especially if you have a terminal that supports these things. So that's all for this episode, a very short and simple episode. You can be creative, you can add more things to it. And in the next episode, we're going to continue with the actual logic and adding more functionality to our server. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're still not subscribed, and I'll see you next time.